Hey everyone, how are you doing today? I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Today I am here to update my Shop My Stash. Before we get into that, of course, I have to tell you what I'm drinking today. Today I am drinking another sample of tea that I got in one of my Sips by boxes. This is from a brand called Made of Tea, and this is called Chunmi green tea. That's what the leaves look like. They're kind of twisted. And I've been sitting here thinking about exactly how this tastes. It kind of reminds me of when you roast green vegetables, like when you roast kale or when you roast broccoli, kind of how the vegetables taste. It's really good, but you have to have a taste for that for that very specific flavor. Yeah, it's good. So first, before we get into picking out my next 2-week or so basket worth of makeup, let's talk about the stuff that I'll be putting away. Also, I wanted to ask your guys' opinion. Should I continue doing my Shop My Stashes the way I do, where I just pick some products out and tell you what I'm going to be using? Or would you rather I did both that and then did it get ready with me using some of those items? Just let me know what you guys prefer. I'm always trying to keep things fresh and interesting. Let's start with the base product that I'll be putting away. This is the Purito Sikka Clearing BB Cream. I really like how this looks, but not when I wear it several days in a row. If I do that, it seems that my skin will break out from it. I have tried it wearing it just randomly in the middle of wearing other things, and then it doesn't seem to make me break out, at least not that I've noticed so far. So I'm not going to declutter it, which makes me so relieved because I really like how this looks on the skin. But once I use it up, I probably won't repurchase it just because of the breaking out issue. But for now, I'm gonna try and enjoy it when I can. So this will be going back in my stash. For highlight, this last time I wanted to use my MAC Double Gleam. It's actually the highlight that I'm wearing today. You need very little of this to accomplish what you want, and I think it might be my favorite highlight. I love it. There's no glitter, just very, very beautiful shine. So glad I picked this one up. Anyway, that will be going back into mustache. For blush, I had pulled out a couple of different things. I had my e.l.f. Active Lip and Cheek palette. I really have figured out a way that I really enjoy this the most. I like to mix all the colors on the back of my hand and then use a stipple brush to apply it. And I do like using the highlight for a dewy highlighter. So yeah, I enjoyed this, but this will be going back in my stash. Same with this Bare Minerals blush. This is actually the blush that I'm wearing on my cheeks today. This is one of their loose blushes. This is the shade I'm Amused Rouge. This was given to me by someone. I have no idea if this is even still available, but the blush is really pretty. And at first I was really terrified of using it. And then when I went to actually use it, it wasn't nearly as terrible as I thought it would be. I thought it would be like crazy pigmented, and it wasn't. I was able to actually dip my brush in, tap it off, and then actually just apply it like normal, and it wasn't too much. So I was very relieved to find that out, and that I do like the color. So this will be heading into my stash. As for lip products, I'm going to be putting everything away since I did have a chance to use it. So I wanted to use my 2 Kaleidos products. This is the lip tonic, which is like the really thin, watery liquid lipstick. I love it so much. And then of course the Lucid Lip, which is the gloss. I really, really love these. I wish Kaleidos would restock the colors because I would get more, especially the liquid lipstick formula. I think it's special. The other 3 products I had to work on were given to me by the same person who gave me that Bare Minerals blush. So I had this Clinique Chubby Stick. This is the shade Super Strawberry. I really like that. This is totally gonna go in my stash. And I also had a couple lipsticks, one from Wet n Wild. This is in the shade Breeze. This lipstick I keep going back and forth on because I really like the color, but look at how shimmery it is. Every time I put it on my lips, I feel like it's too shimmery, but I really like the color. So I guess I'm just not ready to get rid of it yet. Maybe I just need to find the right makeup look to wear a shimmery sheer lipstick with. I guess I've really gotten out of wearing anything that looks metallic on my lips, but at the same time I like shimmery gloss. So I don't know what the difference is, but anyway, for now, this is staying in my stash. And it's the same thing with this Lancome lipstick. This is the shade Vintage Rose. This is so pretty, but it also has that same shimmer in it, but not as much as the Wet n Wild, but you can see the really pretty color. And again, the shimmer. So it's staying around until I figure out what I think of it. I still don't know. I wore it a few times and I still don't know. As for eyeshadow, I had pulled out my Kaleidos makeup wow, I cannot talk. Lunar Lavender palette. I actually did not have as good of a time with this palette as I expected to. It's mostly because I wanted to wear this shade blown out all over my lid, and I found that trying to blend it into my crease was difficult. I actually had trouble with it getting patchy. Packing it on my lid was just fine, but I had issues blending it, which I hadn't tried to do that before with that shade, so that was interesting. So then I gave up on that because I could not make it not look patchy, and then I just did this all over the lid, which I really like that color in the pan, but it turns very pink on my skin, which I remembered from last time, but I had forgotten. So I actually am going to keep this out to use again. I didn't get to use this shade, and I didn't use this really pretty shimmer either. So I'm just going to try and figure out a way that I especially like to wear this palette. I mean, I've used it before, but not, I guess, enough. So I'm going to leave it out just at least one more time. I want to get at least one more good use out of it before I put it back. I had also pulled out this single shadow from JD Glow in the shade Moscato to use. I haven't used it yet, and in my defense, I am pre-filming this a little bit earlier than I usually would, so in the time that I would try and use my Shop My Stash products, I kind of shot myself in the foot there since I, didn't give myself enough time to use my items. So this will be staying in my Shop My Stash to use. So let's get into the products that I'm pulling in. So in addition to that single shadow and this palette, I'm bringing in my new Kaleidos makeup palette. I just did a get ready with me with this, and I love this palette. It's actually the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today. I'm wearing this trio of colors right here. Peach Soju all over the lid, Nouveau on the outer corner, and Stained Glass kind of tapped over the top. I like Nouveau way more than I thought I would. On the lid, it pulls more mauve-y to me than this like burgundy color, which it's beautiful, and it blends a lot better, by the way, than Earthship. I had trouble with Earthship in my get ready with me using this palette. So far that's the only one I've had issues with. All the other shades are beautiful. The only shades I haven't used yet are these. So I'm going to pull this into my Shop My Stash to make sure that I take the time to try out those two shades as well. Storing it, I like to keep it in this packaging that came in. It keeps that little mirror from getting beat up. There, anyway, so it would look like that. For my base product, I'm just gonna pull in my Misha, my very favorite. I have the shade number 21. For highlight, I'm gonna bring in my NARS Fort de France. Doesn't really look like much when you swatch it, but it is a really pretty highlight. Like, you can keep it pretty natural, or you can build it up more if you want, especially if you use a spray to kind of foil it after you put it on. Really pretty. Doesn't highlight texture, doesn't have any glitter, just really nice. Let's talk about blushes. I have been neglecting some of my more high-end blushes in my stash, so I want to make sure I use them, especially the shades that are more my summer shades. So this one from Hourglass, this is in the shade Diffused Heat. I would call this one actually more of a spring shade. It's a very light pink. Like, see how light pink that is? It barely shows up, but it is a really beautiful, beautiful blush. So I'm going to pull that one, and then I'm also going to pull this one from Shiseido. So this is my Minimalist Whipped Powder Blush, and this has been neglected in my stash just because of the color. It is, to me, a very summery color, and it's a little bit out of my comfort zone. It's a bit bright, but I love the formula so much. Oops, I was trying to get a little bit for a swatch, and I got way too much. So it's very moussey. Like, you put it in, it's like a complete mousse. But look at that beautiful bright color. I don't even know if I like that color on myself. I was really trying to go outside my comfort zone when I bought this blush. So I'm gonna pull it and make sure I get some use on it. I mean, I know that I like it because I've used it before, but again, I'm just unsure of the color. Lip products, I'm gonna pull out something I haven't opened yet. This is a mini from Tower 28. This is the shade Fire, and I have been keeping these little minis unopened just as little treats to myself for keeping up with my lip product no-buy. I've been doing really good, by the way, so I decided I would reward myself and open up this little guy. And I thought it would be a really good summer shade too. I've never had an orange gloss before, and I realize it's sheer. Let's go ahead and open it right now for the first time ever and see exactly how orange it is. It's got a bit of an orange tint to it, but anyway, I've never tried an orange gloss before. We'll see. And I know I love the Tower 28 formula. I've used up one of these already, just in a different shade. I'm also going to pull out this MAC lip gloss in the shade Purr. I feel like this is a very much a summer shade. So I'm gonna pull this out. This is also an option for panning at some point this summer. So I wanna pull it out and use it up and start using it a little bit. Lipstick from Almay in the shade Go Wild. It's very pale. So I have been neglecting this. I have not been wanting to wear it. And now this time of year is when I want to wear something like this color. It's a really pretty formula. It's like a sheer right there, a sheer, soft, creamy formula. I really enjoy it. I wish I had purchased a shade that was a little bit deeper so that I would feel more comfortable wearing it daily, but I'll just have to wear this with a lip liner. So the lip liner I'm going to pull with it is this one from Essence. This is one of my favorite shade called Big Proposal. And honestly, the shade of this is very similar to that lipstick, just a little bit darker. So that's it there. I feel like they will go really well together. And I'm going to pull a liquid lipstick. I'm going to try and rotate these through more to make sure I wear them because otherwise they don't get worn. So this is my Maybelline New York Superstay in Matte Ink in the shade Seductress. I don't want to put this on my hand because it will stain my hand, but that's the color, pretty nude pink. I bought this shade because of Emily Noel. Man, I really want to pull more eyeshadows, but I'm holding back. I am still doing my Battleship panning project, and there's just a couple more shadows that I need to hit pan on, so I'm gonna not let myself pull more shadows so that I can continue to focus on my project there. But do let me know what you guys prefer in terms of how I structure these. If you do want to see a get ready with me featuring some of the products that I pull, just let me know, or if you prefer the way that I do it now. Either way is great with me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you have a glorious day. I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye!